doors, footsteps echo through the villa. Velvet on the drapes, chrome handles on the Skrilla. Ghost in the driveway, tent darker than a secret. The grill splash once, whole room going speechless. Nights been sleepless, they're throwing shit together like a genius. The blade was steady cutting up the block to feed the demons. Got many reasons why I feed the fiendish every season. Treat the tech like a salt shaker, leave the street season. I'm a cut product, no additives in the mixture. A brick of pure troops sitting heavy in the picture. Most of these cats airbrushed, painted for the camera. I'm rust on the steel, scars baked into the character. Fur collar hanging off the shoulder like a king cake. Old money habits, new money in the briefcase. Cigar smoke curling through the chandelier crystals. Every move has been deliberate, never accidental. Realest fingerprints left behind on the evidence. Realest cracked knuckles, earthy fades and experience. Raw like the ocean when the hurricane's spinning. No filters on the water, just survival and ambition. It's the real raw nut cut special. Change the channel if you can't fuck with my level. I keep the block hot enough to twist every metal. The shit I spit is cold enough to scare off the devil. They said don't be a menace, but I'm not in South Central. The boys from my hood moving on presidential. The all black master match the gat in the Hellcat. Keep it fast stacked for when my shorty go mental.
Yo, welcome everybody to another episode of the Real Raw Uncut Podcast, the podcast that represents social, society, culture, and all things in between. I'm your host, Rels. Before we get started with my guests, make sure you guys go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, 2920 Network. Make sure you guys go like and subscribe to Patreon, 2920 Network as well. We're going to be dropping a couple of more things on the channel soon, so just make sure you stay tuned. But for now, let's get it going with my guest. I have known this guy for, it seems like forever. We actually started off in a wrestling group, funny. We actually did a couple of wrestling podcasts a long time ago. I consider him a brother. This man has been making some music for a long time and some good music. He's big into wrestling like I am. He has his own show out, 2 on YouTube we're going to talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest, man, Anthony King. What's going on, bro?
Man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, bro. Thank you. Yes, and we definitely, man, we've gone back for a minute, bro. Like I remember the whole the viewing parties back in the early 2010s. Like that's how far back. Like before the Shield. Before the Shield had debuted and everything.
We've been back, way back. I mean, like those days were epic too. Like there's like every pay-per-view, every show we was at the bar, just chilling, drinking, watching wrestling, having a good time. Like a lot of relationships was formed there.
Absolutely, we were really tapped in and just building a brotherhood there. Just bonding there through wrestling, and man, shout outs to wrestling, man. It's been linking a lot of relationships over the years. I've definitely benefited off of wrestling, musically and just personally. So yeah, pro wrestling, man. We it's in our hearts forever, for real.
Absolutely. So let's get it started. When did you first get into music? When did you discover like you had a talent?
Oh man, my mom, dad, grandparents, when I like ever since I was a little boy, they were always playing music. So I think by the time I was like 13, 14 is when I started pursuing it. But before then, from a little boy, I was always hearing music from my parents and my grandparents playing all the oldie but goodies, and that kind of like, I guess, molded my old soul naturally. Mm-hmm. And then coming up, a lot of the music that was popular at the time when I was young probably was like the street stuff and everything, and it was something that I had loved to do, but at the time was thinking to myself like, I don't live this life. I want to make music, though. I want to do it. And then all of a sudden, my Kanye West debuts. He comes out with the College Dropout, and that was like my father. I will never forget. My father had the College Dropout album, and he gave it to me to listen to. I listened to it, and from there, I started wanting to make music and write. And I started off like recording all my songs one take style on tape recorders. Because I grew up in a church, and my folks would record their sermons. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like when the folks go to church, they'll record the sermon, record the preacher, the word for the day, and everything. When my mom would come
Mm-hmm.
back home. She had let me use her tape recorder, and that's when I started. When I was 14, bro, I was making beats on the PlayStation 2 MTV music generator. I don't know if you remember that, but they had a joint for the PlayStation 2,
Wow.
and I was putting the
Oh,
loops
yes, I
together that
do.
they had. Yeah, and I would use those beats. I would make my own beats, and then I would write my verses and everything, and I would have to record the songs at one take. So that's the way it started, like purely.
Hmm. Um, let's go back to that. Damn, this is a PlayStation 2. Wow. What was the first song that you can remember that you wrote to? That you wrote? What was the first song that you can remember?
I probably can't remember word for word, but I just remember like me and my cousins and everything, we getting around each other and we would write these freestyles. I think one of the first songs I did write was right before I had the MTV Music Generator. I had the CD with beats on it, and I just wrote a random freestyle to a random beat. I can't really remember the words, but that's how like that was like the beginning of it. Hearing myself and just writing these ridiculous rhymes that I probably would cringe now if I heard. But you know,
Hmm. How did music shape you to become the person that you are today?
music is everything, man. Like I think even down to my relationship, my partner, my ride or die, she is into music, and music connected us. Music has played such a big role. I feel like all of my relationships somehow are entwined with music somehow. You know what I mean? It's everything for me. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle. It saved my life in so many different ways. I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't doing music. Like growing up, I had a lot of friends who were outside playing in the streets and doing a whole lot of, whatever they were doing. But I was always the kid that was home in the crib. I was always known for being focused and being in a computer somewhere, engineering or producing or recording myself. Music just was always the way for me.
Mm. So what was who was some of your inspirations when you started writing music and when you really got into this music? Like who was like the biggest inspiration? I know you mentioned Kanye, but like who else was a part of that?
Um, Sade. I love Sade. Gotta thank my mom and pops for being such big fans because they would have her playing all the time. Uh, Shoot, a lot of there's a lot of rappers that I was listening to. A lot of CDs that we had. It's miscellaneous. A lot of various names, but I can think about like, of course, Biggie, Pac, Big L. I was such a Big L fan coming up in Harlem. Um, Shoot, Cassidy. At one point in time, nobody couldn't tell me Cassidy wasn't the greatest on the mic. Let me see.
Hmm.
Shoot, there's a lot. Outkast, Aaliyah. Oh man, I loved that time when Static Major and Timbaland and Missy Elliott was connected and making a
Mm.
whole lot of different vibes with Aaliyah. Like all of that stuff is like very inspirational to how I started approaching things. And I first started off rapping. I wasn't really singing as much. I always could hold a little note here and there because growing up in church, you sing. So as I got older,
Mm.
um, I always wanted to take the chances on singing and stuff. But it became a thing, because you already know Lauryn Hill was already doing it. She was rapping and singing and stuff. But it became a thing,
Hmm.
I would say, around right before we got into the 2010s. You had Drake, Kid Cudi, even Kanye
Hmm.
doing it, and around in T Pain, The Dream. Those were
Yeah.
like they were very inspirational to me melodically. So I started playing around with harmonizing and melody. And if you anybody that has followed me from the beginning can kind of see, like I still got some of that old stuff up on the internet somewhere, but you can see just how
Hmm.
much I've grown since then. But when I first started, like you could just hear the ambition. Like I always had this yearn to want to sing more on records or just use more
Hmm.
melody. So aside from Kanye, I mean, it all still goes back to Kanye because he inspired me to want to rap and make music, like really make music. Because before then, it just was like me writing a poem or something or freestyling. But to make music, I really had loved the College Dropout album. And then once again, he re-inspires with 808s and Heartbreak, where he's doing the singing and and he was always a producer of his music. So I was producing some of my stuff too, a lot of my earlier work. So it all goes back to Ye, man. He plays a big part in the inspiration for me.
All right. So at the beginning, did you want to be an artist or did you want to be like a producer or like did you just want to do everything?
I probably wanted to do everything. Just like knowing me, I probably and look, I'm one of those dudes that would take chances and risk, and if it don't work, it don't work. But in the beginning, I was doing everything. I was recording myself. I was writing everything. I was mixing everything. I was trying to produce everything. I wanted to do everything because you had guys like I said, Kanye West, who was doing what he was doing. You had other artists that I was aware that had a lot of influence, like a Prince. He had a lot of influence on the music, from the writing and the production. And my parents and grandparents were big on Prince. So I would say the artists that I guess I seen either my peers or my folks really take to. I think seeing that is what helped make me feel, well, I want to do that too. You know what I'm saying? They admire these artists for doing that. Well, I want to try as best as I can to be a jack of as many trades as I could, and master a few along the way.
Absolutely. So speaking of mastering a few along the way, when did you get the nickname the Hook Whisperer?
Man, that was a name. Shout outs to my lady, Miss Katana Blade. She started calling me that because, as you see, I'm on a lot of hooks, man. I feature on a lot of records, and I just started feeling like along the way, like, man, like this is a gift. It's a skill to be able to hear something, and no matter what the record is, figure out a way to involve yourself in the space creatively and glue it all together and make it something that that's catchy or like just has a certain substance to it where a person would want to listen to the record again. Like some way, somehow, I feel like I'm gonna always leave an impression on you when that chorus hit. If Anthony King is on the hook and he's doing what he's doing, you're gonna feel it, and that's when the name came up. You're a hook whisperer. Like no matter what record you jump on, you always figure out a way to represent yourself in with the highest quality. You always figure out a way to one up yourself. No matter what the record is, I always put 110% into it. So Hook Whisperer came from just all of my efforts over the years. If you look online, you search my name, I've done features with so many different artists, from Jadakiss, Fabulous, and Bun B. That was like my first big record that I got to feature on and sing the hook. You know what I mean? And hook. From there, it just snowballed into a whole lot of things. Me doing features for a lot of different artists.
So what is the process like of writing a hook? Like is it something like do you get the song from them and then you figure it out, or do you write yourself and then they kind of incorporate it into the song?
It's a combination of things. There's been a couple of situations where an artist would send something to me and they would already have it, like they would have like the bones of it. They would say, look, this is the point I want to get across. If you could, and this is the topic, and I'll take that, stir it up, and just work it in a way where it's comfortable for me to do, and make it catchy enough to where like I want them to feel like when they hear the record that I just took the record from here to there. You know what I mean? I really feel like all the songs that I've involved myself on, I want the record to always feel bigger. So The process, sometimes they will send something or I'll come up with it. There's been some cases where they're like, yo, King, do your thing, bro. I already know you're gonna eat that up. You're gonna put yourself on there. You're gonna take the record to another level. So I get a lot of creative. I get a lot of like the reins. They let me. A lot of artists, I would say, let me creatively do my thing. You know what I mean? They don't really put me into a box. And even if they did, I still would take the challenge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, with all the years of making music, what would you say probably was been like a low point in your life when it comes to making music? And with that low point, how did you find yourself to get out of that like dark space to be able to put out the music that you put out?
Oh man, I would say a low point for me. So I think a lot of artists felt this too. I mean, I think a lot of creators felt this, but there was a point in time where the algorithm wasn't the way it was. You know, there was a point in time where you can put something out and it would get to people
Mm-hmm.
and you would get like that organic reach. Now everything kind of has a threshold on it, like it's a pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that would be I'm sure that's a low point for a lot of creators. And it probably didn't really get that bad until like 2017, 18, I would say, or like around that time. Before then, I could put something up on SoundCloud and get a lot of comments, likes. The numbers would be high because it wouldn't be this weird threshold on it where, oh, you got to pay to make the song reach further. Like, you know, you put it up without putting any promotion or putting any ads on it. It's only going to get to this amount of people. You know, nowadays, now you gotta put an ad on. Like unless you running outside butt naked and then doing something ridiculous,
Yeah.
you know, to go viral, you really have to
Mm-hmm.
invest
Mm-hmm.
even more. So I'll say the low point for me was when that changed, when I started releasing music and realizing that, yo, the numbers ain't numbering the way they used to. What's going on? You know, it can be discouraging because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, dog, I've been working this hard, built up this fan base, and now they telling me they're not seeing my music when I put up. They didn't know I released something. You know, now I gotta like work even harder to make sure I reach out to everybody, and I would say that's a low point, but it wasn't like I wanted to give up or anything or like quit,
Mm-hmm.
but it just was discouraging. But we get over that. We figure out a way to overcome that, and it doesn't stop us. You know what I mean? From what the bigger picture is, you know, and still getting the music out.
Absolutely. So, with making music as many years as you have, being, having a lady by your side, having a daughter, um, how is it? How do you balance music? And as we talk about your album coming out, that came out already, we're going to talk about that. But how did you balance family life and actually the process of making this album and trying to keep it all together without going crazy yourself?
Okay, so Test the Waters is it's a long term build to it because the last project I put out was Parallels, which was in 2019, and you know, along the way, I would say I put out a couple of singles here, a couple of singles there, but I haven't put out like a full length project. So what I can tell you is the balance was just life and dealing with being a new father, you know, dealing with responsibility
Mm-hmm.
and finding some time here and there to still create. The good thing is I've always like had work come my way as far as features. So
Mm-hmm.
while I was doing all the features and doing a hook here, doing a verse there, doing a lot of recording artist work, I was working on this project on the side. So this is years of me creating and putting to the tuck, putting it in the tuck and putting it to the side. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
of course, obviously, when you got the family and everything, you know, that can take up time. But I'm lucky to have a lady that believes in me, and you know, I'm very blessed and just grateful that through everything that we
Mm-hmm.
go through as parents and raising a daughter and have my stepson, uh, raising two kids, she still pushes me,
Mm-hmm.
and she wouldn't let me go too long without staying active and expressing myself creatively. So I was still able to work on this album throughout the pandemic, everything, because when I became a dad, it was a pandemic. Like we was smack dab in the middle of it, and I was
Yeah.
still able to,
Mm-hmm.
create. So I would say thank shout outs to my lady, shout outs to everybody that still was requesting Anthony King to be a part, because that kept me going. And yeah, as long as the work don't slow up,
Mm-hmm.
man, like there's still a reason to get active. You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, album Testing the Waters. Album is
Test the waters
fire,
out now.
by
Yes.
the way. Like I told you, I listened to the whole thing, and I don't listen to albums. I don't listen to albums in their full. I listen to the whole album. Like, how important for you was it to drop this album, and how long did this album actually take for you to actually do?
Man, this is years. You know what I mean? I got records on here that I had been just crafting for some years, and like I said, like you along the way as you're making all this music, there's certain songs that stand out to you that are like really special, and you're like, nah, I ain't gonna put that out right now. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that. So this project has a lot of those. It has a lot of those moments
Mm-hmm.
compiled into one. A lot of those, like, oh man, that record means a lot to me. This record is special to me. And I wanted to make sure that when I did put this out, that I loved every song for whatever reason, because I didn't want to have any regrets, because I recorded everything and mixed everything myself. So what
Mm-hmm.
you're hearing is you're getting so much of me with this album, from a writing standpoint, from a vocal standpoint. I feel like I believe this is the best I've ever sounded sonically, performance wise. Like this is just on another level
Mm-hmm.
compared to what I've done in the past. But you're getting so much of me because of how much I am involved in the process of mixing it. And for those who are in the studios and engineering, and they see the process, it can be very, very meticulous. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to do this kind of work. I actually don't want to do all the work that I be
Mm-hmm.
doing, but I'm so crazy, man. I gotta be involved. I gotta make sure everything is hitting the right way. I gotta make sure the harmonies is blended in the way I want it. Like I'm very, very tactical. So yeah, like this was very important for me to get out because, like I said, Parallels came out in
Mm-hmm.
2019. I gotta update the resume. I gotta update the catalog. People have been asking me for a while now, like, yo, King
Mm-hmm.
was good. I see you working on other people's music. I see you doing, this here, this there. When you dropping more music. So this is like for me, I needed to put this out for myself, but also for those that have just been waiting for a long time. I had everybody waiting for a grip, and I ain't want to disappoint. I wanted everybody to get inspired, feel proud that they've been behind me supporting, and anything that I do, I always want to feel like I'm leveling up. So when I got to that point with this project, where I felt like, okay, yeah, this is officially the level up from what I did, the more happy, relieved, and more confident I felt about the body of work. And it was just time to let it go. You know what I mean? Because there's so many other records that's gonna come out, but I can't hold on to everything forever. And Jazzy Jeff had said something in a post, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and he was like, "Yo, man," I'm gonna paraphrase because I can't remember verbatim, but he was like, "Yo, you like empty out your hard drive, man. Don't die without letting your art out." And it got to that point where I got a lot of records. I got to start now.
Mm.
I got to start categorizing this and putting these projects out. So there'll be more even after this. Right now it's test the waters
Mm-hmm.
time, but it got to a point where people can't hear your growth points if you don't put nothing out. You know what I mean? And none of it counts until it actually goes out. It has to go out. The world has to, digest it and hear where you're at creatively. So that way, when you move forward and do something else,
Mm-hmm.
give yourself a pivot point. So I believe in that. That's why it was also important for me to get this out.
All right. Where did you come up with the name Test the Waters?
Test the waters is symbolic for a lot of different reasons. One, test. I'm a water sign. Shout out to my Scorpios. I'm a water sign. If you want to think sexually, test the waters. There's a lot of R&B and wine and dining on the project. You know, if you want to think like that, and also discovery, also discovery and rediscovery. Like this was me discovering myself on another level. And for those who have forgot about me or haven't just heard from me from ever, you know, or for a while, this is like rediscovery. It's like me reintroducing myself, and it is test the waters because I'm testing the waters on myself. I'm seeing just how much can my music impact this go around. You know, a close friend of mine was like testing the waters, or that's what he's. But I was like, yeah, test the waters, bro. He was like, man, you don't think you test the waters enough? He said, I feel like you didn't touched everything. You didn't did everything. And I said, yeah, you know, for me, it's I'm gonna always keep striving, man. Like I don't settle for I don't stumble upon something and just settle on it. I said this project has a lot of growth, and it's important that I put this out and test the waters to see how everybody feels about this direction that I'm going. So yes, you will hear this and feel like, okay, I'm familiar with Anthony King. I'm familiar with what he's done in the past, but this is just me on a whole nother level. So that's why I decided yeah.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, yeah. So I decided to name it Test the Waters for all those different reasons. And like no matter how far you go, there's always somebody that's gonna discover you. So this is me, the new and improved me, and I'm ready for even more people to discover what I do and test the waters on its sound.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So, who is Anthony King in Parallels, and who is Anthony King in Test the Waters?
Anthony King in Parallels is somebody who Anthony King in Parallels is the proud engineer who finally figured out, or I would say cracked the code on how to craft his music melodically and sonically the way he really wanted to. That was like the very first time, which is why when you look on the cover, you see me sitting in the street, and I got the computer and the interface on the side and the mic. It's showcasing me really getting in my zone, and no matter what's going on around me, I'm still focused in on with the task at hand. So that's and I love symbolism. So the symbolism of me sitting there and I'm on a computer is showing that I'm in a world of my own when it comes to the music. Anthony King in Test the Waters is a more confident and more empowered version of that Anthony King that's in Parallels. Like this Anthony King that's in Test the Waters is looking at the one in Parallels, back in Parallels, like, yo, bro, we got this, man. We got this on lock. We really, really on to something. We thought we was on to something back then, but now everything that we thought we knew from a technical standpoint, there was so much more to learn. You know what I mean? There's still so much more to learn now, but Parallels to Test the Waters is like a very much cleaner and improved Anthony King. And that's why when you see on the cover for Test the Waters, you see I'm in the middle, depicted cartoon me in the middle, and you see the girls, they have their cups out and look like they're just intoxicated or whatever with the water that's coming out the speakers, and the water is representation of the music, the vibes, the messages, the sonics, the frequencies. That's what the water is, and that's why when you see them and they're drinking it, that's them testing the waters.
Oh, that is dope. So from testing the waters, let's go to another business that you dealing with. You have a show, Signs of Love. Let everybody know what that show is about and how did that show become what it is.
Man, Signs of Love. It's the first time I've ever done anything like that. It's a pleasure. Shout outs to Miss Katana Blade, who is the the visionary behind it. It started off as a joke, and then turned into something serious. And the joke revolved around LaVon Downs, who's one of the bachelors for the pilot
Mm-hmm.
season. Um, this was just an idea that she had, and we took time to develop it, how the show would run, and it was a thing of like, yo, you know what? There really isn't any shows that revolve around, like, we have relationship and dating, right? You know, you got your pop the balloons and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pop the balloon. I was just saying that you have the pop the balloon or find love thing. We wanted to do something that was different. That was kind of even more of a throwback to the shows that we came up on, like Flavor of Love, Real Chance of Love. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you remember those shows back in the day, where you didn't
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have
yeah, definitely.
right. You didn't just have a cast of people for like that one episode, and then the next episode's another. It's a cast of people that you grow with, and that play games, and they get eliminated along the way. You get to like grow with these characters, these
Mm-hmm.
personalities. Katana wanted to do something that was like a throwback to that, but we wanted to remix it. We wanted to throw in Zodiacs because everybody can relate to Zodiacs. Everybody rock their Zodiacs proudly. You know what I mean? Yeah, you may hear somebody say, I'm a Leo." You know, shout outs to my, she's a Leo. Shout outs to, I'm a proud Scorpio, and we was like, yo, how can we make something right with the Zodiacs and do something really, really unique? Signs of Love is a show where you get two bachelors or two bachelorettes, and they search for love among 12 contestants that represent all 12 of the zodiacs. You've never seen anything like that before. I don't think we've
Mm-hmm.
seen anything. And if there is anything similar, they haven't done it like
Absolutely
that.
not.
Right. You know what I mean? Casting 12 unique zodiacs is not even that easy to do. You know what I mean? That's a feat in itself, because to get 12 different personalities and to make sure we cover every single zodiac, we already knew going in that that was going to be a tall task. But shout outs to my wonderful cast. We were able to pull it together, and the show is not scripted. A lot of stuff that you see on the show is like it's very I don't want to say it's not freestyle, because there was there is a process of how the show is supposed to go, how it's supposed to run. But as far as like the interactions and what they said on the show and everything, we didn't control that. We let it all kind of just be natural. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Signs of Love. You have your two bachelors or your two bachelorettes searching for love among 12 contestants representing all zodiacs, and you end up with two winners. So it's not like it's a thing of we supposed to end up with two couples in the end and then they go on their date, which is the sister show Signs of Love, the date, the spinoff of it, which is
Mm-hmm.
now out. Shout outs to the Silent Celeb and Nova November.
Okay.
They hosted season one, and Evan T. Mack, he hosted Signs of Love, the date. And Silent Celeb, she was on. She's from
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. The Circle. She was on the first season of that. If you ever heard of that, she was the first catfish on that. And Evan T. Mack, he actually worked with the
Mm-hmm.
WWE. He was on the Bump. He was one of the cast members of the Bump, one of the journalists on it, one of the personalities, if you're familiar with him. So we
Oh.
we put our best foot forward in
Mm-hmm.
making sure we can get some people who
Yeah,
already
yeah, I
have
know who you're talking about.
experience. Yeah. So yeah, man, you can check that show out on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Shout out to Swerve Strickland. He executive produced the show with me in Katana. And you actually see him appear on Sounds
Mm-hmm.
of Love today. And yeah, you can find the show on youtube.com/at Sounds of Love TV. You can find us at Sounds of Love TV on Instagram, on TikTok. On X is at Signs of Love Game, and yeah. Shout out to everybody, man, that worked with us. We just won a Telly Award. That was really huge. That I've never won any award in media.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we won. Uh,
That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
out of 13,000 people, man, in our category, for us to be a bronze winner for that, like that meant a lot. And plus being a lead editor for Sounds of Love to date, shoot, man, like I'm still speechless about it. But yeah.
So how was it dealing with the people on the show, like having to deal with the contestants, the people competing for the dates? Was there a lot of like a lot of egos involved?
Absolutely. Actually, everybody was wonderful, man. Of course, this is something that was new to everybody. Like, we are really thankful that everybody walked into this not really knowing what it was, but everybody was great. Like the
Hmm.
yeah, like it wasn't any problems or nothing like that. We were all like one big family, for real, for real. Doing this and working together as a team. And I wanted to make sure that, like, because the people that we had apply for the show were people that we kind of already had an idea that, okay, yeah, this person does this. Like, we didn't really want messy on the show. You know what I mean? We wanted to
Hmm.
give you a more sophisticated experience. So yeah, everybody on the show was good. We didn't have to really deal with no egos or no BS like that. We all stuck it through and thugged it out together.
So what is the eventual end game for Signs of Love? Like where would you like to see it in the future?
We want this to grow and to become like a big brand franchise, grow internationally. Right now, we're based in New York, and that's where it's gonna be centered around for a little while. The first season was two bachelors and 12 girls, and for season two, we're gonna do two girls and 12 guys, which I have to like mentally prepare for, because
Hmm.
dealing with the ladies were lovely, man. It was a great time. Now we're dealing with the fellas, and maybe some egos. We gonna see about it. Maybe some egos, because you already know
It could be.
how we get. You already know
Hmm.
how you get 12 of us in a room. You never know. Competing
Yeah.
over. So
Or 12,
yeah.
12, 12 dudes in a room competing over two girls. Yeah, it can be a lot of
Yeah.
egos.
So they that could be a
Yeah.
trip, but it was a great time, man. I'm really proud of that. That's one of the proudest things that I've done, and I'm just happy that Katana trusted me, and being a part of her vision, and executing it and bringing it to life. And now it's doing its thing on social media. We got a couple of viral posts going on right now. Uh, yeah, it's been a good time.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, as we wind down this interview, first of all, I want to say congratulations on the Telly Award once again. Congratulations on dropping Test the Waters. Um, like I said, the album is fire, and if anybody needs to go pick it up, y'all needs to go stream that. Like, please go listen to that. Um, but I close out every podcast the same way. So I want to ask you, you being successful as you are right now, making the music, family, having the show, what would you tell your younger self now?
To remain patient. That's what I would tell myself, to remain patient and just keep on trusting God, man, and keep the ones that are really down and supporting and pushing you. Just know that it's 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 something that, don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? Don't get too caught up in your work to not realize the support that you do have, because sometimes you get caught up in wanting the approval, the validation from people who don't really appreciate you. So if there is something like that, I feel like a lot of people should like the lesson that they all should learn is like the ones that you're looking for validation for, the ones that don't appreciate you, the people that you're seeking the acceptance from, man, don't even let that even bother you. You know what I mean? Really, really rock with the people that rock with you. I wish when I was younger that I didn't let certain things like that plague me and become a distraction. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things I would tell myself is just remain patient, keep on pushing, and stop getting distracted by wanting to be accepted by everybody, and just believe in your product, believe in yourself, and keep pushing because the ones that rock with you, the ones that really support you and love what you do, those are the ones that you focus on. You can take all your constructive criticisms and that's all gonna come with the game, but stay focused on your task and don't let anybody discourage you from what you're doing, especially if it's something that they don't have the courage to do or want, or especially if they're not in your field or understand what it is to do what you do. I'm happy to have this album out. Shout outs to all the features on it. We get some great people, a lot of long-time collaborators on this album. Dave Coder, we've been working together for years since I was a teenager. Shout outs to Code Ozzy, a sister of mine. Really, 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 really dope talent. Man, I can't wait till she drops her music. Mike Ortiz, another long-time collaborator. Daddy O Baby, aka Bobby Monsoon, actually. Shouts to Bobby Monsoon. He's a big wrestling YouTube content creator. He also makes music. He's on PTG. Very, very funny dude. Very talented. Shout outs to Bobby Monsoon, man. Y'all need to check him out, man. He reviews Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite every week. And he goes live too on his YouTube. And my brother Jay Mills. Anybody that's familiar with me know that I've been working with Jay Mills for a grip. We got a whole album out and everything. So it was important to get him on this because for a very long time, I would say most of the records that were out were like stuff where it would be him featuring me. So it would be like me entering his world, but it was important for me to get him to enter my world and do something we've never done before. Entwine is like, it's unlike anything we've ever done before, but it's like it's unlike anything, but at the same time it's like, yo, that makes sense. Like, yeah, they would do something like that. Like the build up to that, it makes sense. But I love Entwine. I'm very happy that I was able to get him on this album. He's been a wonderful collaborator, one of my favorite people to work with. And the producers, man, shout outs to Rod, the producer. He produced an EP for me years ago that we feel like was like groundbreaking, had a big influence on a lot of artists back in the day. It was called The Move. Shout outs to Nick Paradise, Dre Charles. Those are longtime collaborators. If you're familiar with Team Titans, they produced January 28th for J. Cole. Prototype, another long. That's my brother, man. He's been cranking out heat for years with me. A lot of long time collaborators are on this project, and that's what makes it special. Marvino Beats with Say So, the last record on the album. I think what brought this all together is the lore of Anthony King is intact on this. It's a lot of familiar names for those who are like day one Anthony King listeners. You're going to see a lot of familiar names on the project, and you're going to feel right at home because it's going to be like it's everybody on another level. OTS Baby Trill, another dope producer. Shout outs to him. He produced Exes. Kai Zen, salute to you. Did I get everybody? I'm trying to think. I think I got everybody. Yeah, I think I got everybody. But yeah, Test the Waters, man, out now on.
I like that. You had to give the shout outs to everybody involved, man. I'm not mad at you for that.
Yeah, because this is a special project, man. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that was put into it. A lot of people, they when somebody provides value to you, something of value, which is whether if it's production, or vocals, features, background vocals, whatever it is something that I cherish and I hold, you know, really, really greatly to my heart. So with this project, I gotta shout everybody out because it's like you helped me
Mhm.
reach the next level. All their contributions are very, very important. So yeah, shout outs
Mhm.
to everybody that was there along for the ride. Miss Katana Blade, once again, she executive producing the album with me, my lady. So um, yeah, I think I covered everybody. And shout outs to you, brother. I'm so glad that you listened to the whole project, man. You told me your favorite records were No Wrong and Entwine. I like your musical taste. It tells me you listen to music a
Yeah,
certain way. You appreciate it a
yeah,
certain way,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'm a. If the beat catches me right off the bat, I'm gonna listen to the whole song, and then I'm gonna give the rest of the song a listen. But it's like it has to catch me first, and it's like that song caught me, and I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, that song caught me so much. I had to restart it like 3 or 4 different times to actually let the whole song play out. Because I was like, I like the way them, because I like the way them drums came in the first like 10 seconds of the
Yeah.
song. I was like, oh, this is fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo,
Yeah,
No Wrong is something different, man. And for everybody, just to let you know, I had No Wrong for a while. I mean, No Wrong is a record that I knew
yeah.
that it had to be on the project, on the album. I couldn't just throw that out on some like just a random throwaway track, a random like no, it
Mm-hmm.
had to be an album cut. I really wanted people to appreciate that record. So the more I hear, fans like supporters like yourself, coming to me and saying like, yo, that song, in particular is dope. Like the more validated I feel, like yeah, I'm glad I held on to that and waited till now to put it out because now when I hear that, like it makes me feel like I made the right decision to wait to put it on this project.
Yeah, that's dope. This is like the first track is like real smooth, and then here you come in on the second track and it's like boom 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 boom. And it's like, oh,
Word.
okay, he put a little up tempo on it,
A lot of niggas
but
want to fuck
and then you
your
have
head
to
up.
listen because No Wrong literally is like, yeah, literally like, and the song, the title of the song perfectly fits the song. Like if you listen to it, it's like, oh, okay, he's making perfect sense with this song too.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is
So shout
too,
outs to you, bro. That's a dope album, man. Shout outs.
thank you. One last thing I'll say, man, I intentionally and unintentionally crafted the project in a certain way where it wouldn't be too explicit. Like you got your moments where there could be some things that are kind of more on the dirty
Mm-hmm.
side, but it's not really a dirty project. I wanted it to have that open enough
Mm-mm.
tolerant. Like I wanted it to like the tolerance where people of different ages could listen to it and not really feel like this shit is doing too much or it's too much cursing or it's too much raunchiness, whatever. I wanted to have a balance because I do have my daughter running around, walking around, and she's listening to everything that I'm doing, and she's
Mm-hmm.
remembering. When they little like that, she's 6 years old. She just turned 6.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're little like that, they're like a sponge. They're hearing everything and repeating. So I kept that in mind, very cognizant of what
Mm-hmm.
the words I was saying because I want her to be able to listen to this album, at least most of it. I can put it on most of it and she can listen to it, and I won't have to worry about me
Mm-hmm.
influencing her to say some crazy shit. So, and I think about other people who got kids and everything. So,
Yeah,
like
imagine.
being a dad, I think I would say the process going into this project that molded my mind to make the album border the lines between being clean and not too dirty, you know.
Mm-hmm. But once again, man, yeah, thank you for being my guest, man. This has been a long time coming, and this was a great a great interview, man. I appreciate it. Let people know where they can find you, where they can find your music, where they can find your show. Let them know.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Anthony King. I made it easy for you guys. My name is my name, and that's what it is on everything from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, any new social media that's going to come out. It's going to be at Anthony King, Threads. What else I'm missing? Shoot, I'm at Anthony King on anything. Cash App, everything. Spotify, you're gonna find me. And Test the Waters. Test the Waters is out now on Apple Music, Spotify, and it'll be on the other streaming platforms shortly. They're still being distributed. You're gonna see it on YouTube Music, whatever, wherever you get your music at. Test the Waters will be there. Signs of Love, you can check out Signs of Love on YouTube, youtube.com/@Signs of Love TV. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell so the way you can know, get updated on the content that's coming out, because we're dropping clips daily, different clips from the season as we prepare for season 2. And same thing with me. Like, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube at Anthony King. You're going to get a lot of content and visuals. There'll be a lot of pieces coming out as I'm promoting this album throughout the summer into the fall. You'll see a really, really cool rollout of different visuals and stuff. So
that's what's up. Yo, make sure I gotta make people too. I gotta let people know it's Anthony with an I, not with an O. So if you go looking and you can't find it, just remember it's with an I.
For those that's not seeing us right now and just hearing us, it is ANTHINYKING at Anthony King. Anthony with an I. Absolutely.
Yeah, because people start to go looking and be like, I can't find it. And then it's like
you'll find all these
so
find all these other Anthony
Kings.
Know that. Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I had to change
nothing to do with the Anthony King they all looking for, which is crazy. But it makes sense though, because that kind of separates you from everybody else.
Absolutely.
Definitely does.
Thank you, brother, for having me.
Yeah. But once again, bro, I want to thank you. No problem. My pleasure. Anytime, man. Whenever you roll out for season 2, we come right back on and talk about that too.
Definitely.
All right. With that being said, man, enjoy, man. Take care, man. Once again, thank you for being my guest. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Love y'all.
Yeah.